that money is being invested and it's growing inside the account. And if you have
Yep.
a match, that match is it's adding on to it, right? So you shouldn't
Yeah.
leave money on the table. Welcome back, folks. This is episode 20 of we're moving right up on there, man. Episode
Yeah,
20 of
man.
It's About Your Paycheck. Check out the sign. And what's up, Wall? How you doing today, sir?
Man, happy Thursday. I'm good. Man, bro, we're almost in the at the end of the first quarter of 2024 already, man. It
Yes.
feels like it just got here and it's like a quarter of the way
Uh,
almost done and it's just like time waits for no one. I know I keep saying
yeah.
that, man, but man, time is of the essence, sir. How are you, man?
And, yeah. Agreed. No, agreed. And as we get old, it's something like age. It just, I don't know what it does, the human experience as we get older, time flies. Maybe we're in the matrix. Maybe it's just all a game. But it's
Mhm.
great because like I'm doing some planning out and I'm like, yeah, oh man, that's got to be in July. And I'm like, damn, I feel like July is far, but it's not far, and
It's not, man.
it's crazy. Yeah, it's just crazy. Is the time of it all, and yeah, folks. Today we're talking about 401k. Speaking of
Mhm.
time running out, right? Appropriately so. Some retirement planning is appropriate. And actually there's a fun fact about 401k. They say that if you start saving young, like 20 years old, if you start full-time saving in a 401k plan or IRA is an independent retirement account. A 401k is usually through your job. You get, you're a W2 employee, and it's a benefit that they offer you, or access really, to this account. And it's for retirement. Anyway, the fun fact is, if you start saving at 20, the mathematicians, all the finance folks say that you could be a millionaire by 40. You could have saved, and in a 401k have amassed, I can't say saved, but or earned, but have grown this
Y-
account to
Yeah,
$1 million, right?
yeah,
I
you
don't
could
know
have
all the
contributed.
numbers. Was
Could
that
have contributed. You could have
right?
contributed or put away. You know, $1 million.
Yep.
Yep. Yep.
We'll get into the a little bit more of it after our news update. So
Yeah.
let's do our pay news update.
This episode is presented by TrakGO, the simply better employee time clock software that is going to make your life easier. In addition to the unique graphical employee time card that helps you quickly identify and fix mistakes, TrakGO is excited to announce it's now compatible with QuickBooks Desktop, providing effortless data transfer and reduced errors. TrakGO will not only save you time and money each week, but the easy to understand user interface and the ability to turn an ordinary tablet into an employee time clock will get you and your team up and going in just minutes. Find out what a simply better solution can do for your business. To learn more and sign up for your 14-day free trial, go to www.timetrakgo.com. That's TIMETRAK go.com, or call 888-321-9922. Let's go.
Mine is quick. It's actually based on a news piece that Walter shared with me earlier today. We're constantly like sharing stuff back and forth and prepping for the show, and it's really just kind of caught my eye and or ear rather, about a stat that this one outlet threw out. It was 80. Apparently, AI is going to replace up to 85 million jobs in the next year. I forget the time frame that they said,
2025.
but and they just go by 20. Dang, that's next year. That's next year.
Yeah.
Eh, you know, and I don't say
So
it to be scared. What's up?
one of my friends
Okay.
who actually works for one of the biggest accounting firms, they're already experiencing that at their job, where they laid off a bunch of admin
Oh
staff
wow,
and told them because we have AI.
wow, that's crazy. And then they won't tell. Well, I guess they have to. They have
They
to
have to
be
be honest.
honest. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's that's. It brings a couple of things up, right? Like, one, there's a site that folks are talking about on TikTok a lot. I don't know what the site is right now. It's a government site about, like, when a company is pre-planning a layoff, they have to file that with the government. Like, they have to. It's like it has to
Hmm.
become public knowledge. I
Yes.
don't know what the criteria is. I should find this all out. We should really know all this, but I don't know what the criteria is like to mandate the notification or whatever, but basically you can go check this out. What TikTok is saying is like, don't be surprised. The information is there. Go to this website and you'll see if your company is planning a layoff, right? So that's one thing. Be mindful of
So
that, right? Go
yeah, it's
find that. You found it?
yeah. Yeah, so it's on the U.S. Department of Labor.gov. You can
Okay.
find it through there.
Okay.
It's called WARN, WARN
There you go.
database,
That's it.
and
Yep.
and and that
There
stands
you go.
for the Worker Adjustment and Rotating Notification Act, and it requires employers
There you
over
go.
100 or more employees to provide at least 60 calendar days advance written notice of plant closing or mass layoff. Yep.
Does it say like does it tell you who has to do that? Like why,
all all,
okay,
all
yes, companies
employers.
over 100, but
Mhm.
nothing else? No other legalese or nothing kind of
We have to read. We
maybe
would have to read the act and
the read
see.
through. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there it is, Warren, right? Go look at it. And so I only, no pun intended, I only warn you because if you don't see your company and you get laid off, it might be because of that. All these government things, it's all legal things and loopholes and whatever. So, anywho, that's a good outlet to go kind of be informed, see if your company is planning a layoff. But in the second piece of it, on this show, we believe to invest in yourself, right? Continue education, continue learning, either through reading, absorbing, listening, whatever it is you do, whatever your learning medium is, keep doing it because when those layoffs come, you'll be prepared, right? Maybe you won't get laid off because maybe you raise your hand and say, "Well, I know how to work AI. Hey, AI is coming. Great. I know how to prompt and I know how to do this and I know how to machine, so if you're already preparing yourself now, then you have opportunity to keep work or find new work very quickly, right? If you
Yeah.
kind of preparing yourself. I think that at our levels in HR and payroll, we got a ways to go still, right? Because, I think at the practitioner level, you become the person that deals with the AI and you
Yeah.
become the in between. Yeah, maybe we lose team members, maybe some entry level or juniors may have to retool and relearn and, do some other things. I think for our work, I think we're still a ways off for that, even though that article was talking about how like bachelor degree people are going to be the most impacted.
Yeah.
Maybe if you're just coming out of college right now because you're still at entry level, you know, I think,
Yeah.
I mean, shoot,
It-
one of the shows we were talking about how they're hiring without bachelors and without degrees now. So, you
yes.
know, I kind of took that with a grain of salt. Like, all right,
I can go down a rabbit hole with that because I have an idea of
okay,
why companies would want to do that.
go for it. Yeah, let's
From
talk
the
about it.
bachelor piece is because think about it. If somebody has a bachelor degree, they usually, in most cases, get paid a little bit more than somebody who doesn't have a
Sure,
degree,
should you
right?
hopefully, yeah,
Hopefully, and so what happens
hopefully,
is what happens is that in those situations, maybe the companies might be like, hey, we can save money if we got rid of that part of the workforce, have AI do their piece, and just keep the juniors to just kind of do maintenance.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, because that same article said if you have a high school diploma, you're less impacted, you
Yep.
know. So it's weird, At the end of the day, folks, empower yourselves and keep investing in yourself, keep learning, keep going, keep growing, right? Yeah, that's enough for my spiel.
We
You got a
we could
nice
talk we could
article
talk
for
about
us to
that.
share, right? Yeah, we can go on and on. Yeah, exactly.
We should probably do a show about AI. Honestly, more about it,
No,
especially
we
with
we
everything
keep
wrapping
talking
up.
about it. I mean, I think Yep, I think we keep talking about. I think that'll be a good. Maybe we could find a guest or something like that. That's that. I don't know. If
Yeah.
they talk a lot about AI. I mean, I'm sure we can do it ourselves too. But it'd be nice to get a third. Some opinion, some outside opinion. But
Yes, sir.
anywho, what do you got for us today, sir?
Man, so I
Oh,
found this
I was just,
interesting
I was
site.
just, yeah.
I found this interesting article. I saw it on TikTok or social media the other day, and so I did
Oof.
some research. And Wendy's, it came out that Wendy's was thinking about doing dynamic surge pricing. basically what surge pricing is, for those of you that don't know, it's like also known as dynamic or on demand pricing, right? Or demand pricing. It's a pricing
Mm-hmm.
strategy where businesses adjust the prices of their products or services based on demand, typically during peak hours or when demand is high.
Mm-hmm.
And so the goal with
Mm-hmm.
that is to balance supply and demand by encouraging consumers to adjust their purchasing behavior. So what that would mean is that during those busy times, if Wendy's actually went through with this, they actually came back out and said, "Hey, we're not doing that. Sorry,
Oh,
sorry."
really?
Yeah, because people got mad
Really?
about it. Like, yeah, like people got upset about it. Like, this is
Yep.
highway robbery. Like,
Yeah, I
so
stopped
basically,
going. Yep.
yeah. So what would happen is that during lunch, during the lunch hour, the lunch rush, the prices at Wendy's would increase. And so you,
Yep.
instead of paying the normal price, let's say $10 a meal, you might have to pay 15,
Yep.
20
Go with 11,
during lunch.
12. Yeah.
You know, you'll have
Yep.
to pay a little bit more for the meal, and that would kind of
Yep.
dissuade people from going to Wendy's so much if they did that. Now,
Sure
I'll give
would.
you a. I won't go through all the different industries or the different notes that I have here, but I'll just give you the different type of industries that use this type of things like Uber, Lyft,
That already
transportation
use surge.
services.
Yeah, because
Yes,
there are companies that use surge pricing already. So it's
yep.
not like foreign, but Wendy's was trying to be the first food service to do it.
Yes.
That
Yes.
that messes with our paychecks. That's not cool.
Yes. So the hospitality industry, hotels and airlines, they often adjust their
Yep.
prices based on seasons. So, during the holidays, like why is airfare so much more?
Hmm.
Because everybody's trying to travel during the holidays, so they increase it.
Yep.
Entertainment and events, ticket sellers, sporting events, they increase like Super Bowl. That's why the Super Bowl tickets are so much
Oh
more
gosh.
than the regular
Oh my
tickets
gosh.
or
The bleacher
or
sheet is like $2,000. It's crazy.
Yeah, or like I went to a couple of Miami Heat games. I love going to Miami Heat games when I used to
Okay.
live in
Why?
Florida, and I just love it. I
Just
love the
because of
arena.
basketball or
Yeah,
something?
yeah, I love the arena.
Oh, okay.
I
Nice.
love Miami Heat's my team, right? But I
Okay.
noticed that the ticket prices are different when the Boston Celtics come to town versus when
Depending
another
on the
team
teams. That's right.
comes to town. Like the
Yep.
tickets adjust,
Yep.
right? Because you're paying for that entertainment. So more people want to get in when a
Hmm.
high profile team is coming to
Yep.
play our boys. Delivery services do the same thing, DoorDash, Grubhub. So like if there's a sporting event
Yeah.
or something like that going on and you want to order, like the delivery fees may be a little bit higher. They may add a little bit more to the
Yes.
price of stuff, right? And then some utility companies do the same thing, which I found interesting because I didn't know that utility companies do that as
Hmm.
well. And they say that some may even implement that surge pricing for electricity or water during high peak use hours. It's just crazy, man. So do your research. You can go to websites like Harvard Business Review, MIT Sloan Management Review, and other academic databases to find out more information about surge pricing and how it may affect you on your day-to-day life.
Interesting, man. Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
That's all I've been hearing about is Wendy's with that surge pricing deal.
Yeah. Wendy's had to walk it
So
back
they couldn't
ASAP.
they walked it back.
They
That's
walked it
smart
back
though. That's
ASAP
smart because look,
because yeah.
they they were trying to do it because they were struggling anyway. So now people ain't coming at all. They're like,
Mhm.
oh, I'm just not gonna go to Wendy's.
Yeah,
Yeah,
regardless.
interesting. Yeah, man. Yeah. Speaking of
Plus,
saving money,
yeah.
this is so we talk. So again, we're talking about 401k.
Hmm.
And again, if for those of you who don't know, 401k is a product that is offered by our employers to save money as a retirement plan. You don't
Yep.
have to do 401k. You can do an IRA outside. You can do Robinhood and invest directly. You could there's a multiple there's a what is a variety of choices to invest in.
Hmm.
As we say on this show all the time, right? We're not saying what to invest in. We're just saying it's good to invest. You should
Yeah.
invest.
Yeah.
And you should diversify your investments. You should have 401k. You should have a Robinhood account. You should have an IRA. You should have all these things, and for different reasons. But that's for you to go out and get hungry about it. Go research it. We're talking about 401k today, and it is an
Hmm.
easy, cool tool, especially if you're just starting out. If you're like, well, I don't know what to do. 401k is a great product to do that because it's a plan. It's a popular type of retirement savings plan in the United States, offered by many employers. It has several key benefits that make it attractive option for employees looking to save for retirement, right?
Hmm.
And one of the easy thing, they have like an easy button for it, because when you if you get set up, if your employer is offering it to you, and you log on and you set it up online, everything is a portal, you can just pick like the age you want a retirement. They literally have a plan where you can just say, okay, I want to, I'm 25 now, I want to retire when I'm 55 or 50. And you can pick that plan as a
Yeah.
target. And meaning they will take the funds that you contribute and they will invest it in the market accordingly to your plan, right? And they'll do different things. They have different strategies to invest your money. Now, you can get granular, you can get in the weeds with it, you can go down the rabbit hole if you want with it and pick your own and divide my contributions over these plans and Vanguard and EFTs and mutual funds and all the fancy things that no, but we don't even understand, right? You can do that if you're savvy. If you're savvy, you can do it. If you're not, you can just pick this target plan. Like, yep, I want to retire there. That's what it do. And then what the record keeper is called, like a popular one now is Empower. Wells Fargo also has a product, but
Yeah.
a lot of the big banks have these products as a 401k. ADP has their own 401k product. So I believe Paycheck's also another one. So anywho, what they do in the background is they'll invest your money accordingly to that. Now, another big, not only are you saving money, right? But a couple of other benefits to that is maybe your employer does a match, meaning, and employers kind of get a little, I don't want to say, they play on they play with the words, right? Because they'll say, okay, it's 2% up to the first 25% of the 50% of your first dollar. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
what?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just
Yeah.
it instead of being straightforward, like, hey, we're just gonna match, X amount, right? They'll
Yep.
say 50% up to the first 5%, so whatever it is, right? What you want to
Hmm.
do is talk to either the 401k provider or your HR department to understand how you don't leave money on the table, right?
Yep.
So meaning, if you do have a match, not all companies have to offer a match, by the way. If you do have a match and the company does, let's say, 50% up to the first 5%, right? They play on the percentage, right?
Hmm.
And you do only 2% or 3%, you're leaving the other 2 or 3% on the table. You shouldn't, right? You should maximize their match, right?
Yep.
If the employer has a
Hmm.
match, make sure you maximize their match. If not, it
Yep.
is what it is. You can, I still urge people to do it, because you started off the show perfectly with this, with time, how quickly
Yeah.
time goes, right?
Yep.
I I I see, and I mean, shoot, I, I see folks stay at jobs 5, 10 years, and they never contributed their 401k. And if they
Hmm.
had a match and all that, and they're like, how much you would have had in 5, 10 years, even just doing 20, 30 bucks a check. That would have
Yeah.
been a few thousand, like thousands and thousands of dollars, because it's not only the flat money you're contributing, that money is being invested and it's growing inside the account. And if you have
Yep.
a match, that match it's adding on to it, right? So you shouldn't
Yeah.
leave money on the table, is
It's like
one.
you
And
said.
that's one of the benefits.
Yeah.
S-
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, no, go ahead.
No, it's like you said, man. It's never too late to start, right? The earlier the better.
Nope.
But if you're around our age in your 40s or whatever, and you haven't done 401k, start now, right? They,
Start
they
now.
said the
Y-
retirement
Yep.
age has increased. It went from like 60 something to like almost 70 now, right? So like
It
more
depends on
people
how
are
old
having
you
to
are.
work
Yeah.
later.
When you were
Yeah, more
born
people.
and
Yeah,
yeah.
more people are having to work longer, in order to try to
Yep.
save up for retirement, right? So start now, invest in yourself. Go ahead.
Here's another good call. I'm glad you said that, because one, if you're in your 40s, right, you got at least another 20 years of working,
At
right? We're still young.
least.
40s is still young. You have at
Yes.
least another 20 years of working. Think about that, right? 20 years. So you can still do that million, right? Instead of 20 to 40, it's 40 to 60, unfortunately.
Yep.
And you can
Hmm.
still get to that million or millions. And here's another call out. I believe it's after 50 or 55. This is very regulated. You can look up these rules on the IRS and all that for
Hmm.
401k. After 50 or 55, you're allowed to contribute more, right? So
Yes.
let me backtrack. In 401k, you're limited to how much you can contribute every year because it's a pre-tax benefit. So what is that, Brian? Pre-tax benefit means, we all pay taxes, right? And when we pay taxes in a W 2 environment, hey, sorry, my dog get crazy. And when we pay taxes in a W 2 environment, we're paying it every paycheck. Every paycheck, we're paying taxes.
Hmm.
And then we go file and we reconcile that. We say, oh, you know, here's what you should have paid. You either pay more or get money back, right? What what pre-tax benefit does is it lowers the amount that we have to pay taxes on. So if
Yep.
we got paid $1,000 in our check and we usually, and now we have a 401k benefit of $200 coming out, you're only going to pay taxes on $800 for the federal government, not
Yep.
the full thousand. So
Yep.
that's the beauty of the pre-tax benefit. That's why employers don't have to give a match because they're already giving you a benefit. They're giving you access to lower your tax liability, right?
Hey, but
And we talked
yeah,
about
man.
tax brackets in one of the shows, right? Right? You're
Hmm.
thinking about it, right? And essentially you can drop into a lower tax bracket if you maximize all of your pre-tax deductions because it's not
Yes,
just
sir.
401k, it's also medical, dental, and vision, and then there's a few other ones in there too that are also pre-tax. If you maximize all that and 401k, you lower your benefit. I've seen
Yep.
folks 40s and their 50s don't not donating, contributing their whole paycheck,
Entire
trying to
check.
do
Yep.
100% of their check, their
Yep.
entire check, right? Now that doesn't work the way they think because they have to do the taxes first, and that's more for the payroll side of the show. But it, point is, they're like putting it all. They're trying to get it all in there, and it could drop. Those folks are definitely dropping into lower tax brackets because they're contributing as much as they possibly can. And again, after a certain age of 50 or 55, I think it is, you can contribute more than what's allowed, so that's a huge benefit. And then after 59 and a half, unless they've changed it, you can start withdrawing from that account tax free. Well, no, I don't know about tax free, but without penalty, right? Because
Hmm.
it's a retirement account, there are some penalties if you try to withdraw earlier.
It's
But
the age is 50.
benefit 50, thank you. So after 50 you can contribute more. But then another benefit is, yes, they penalize if you try to withdraw, but you can get loans on that money. So most companies will allow you to get loan because it's your money, right? So if you, let's say you've
Hmm.
been there a bunch of years and you've amassed $20,000, in
Hmm.
your 401k, you can get a loan for like 10, 15, and I think they allow up to like 80% of what your balance is. And guess
Yep.
what? You're just paying yourself back, right?
Yep.
So what I urge people to do there is, if you get a loan, and let's say you already have a 401k, right? You know this, Brian. You ain't telling me nothing, no problem.
Yep.
Make sure you stay with your contribution even when you're paying your loan back, right? Because you're really maximizing those contributions. You're paying yourself back, but also contribute. Because what a lot of people do is, you're allowed to stop contributing when you're repaying the loan back, but you're actually allowed to do both. So do both, right?
Yep.
And then there's another product that's associated with 401k. It's called a Roth. Some people call it a Roth 401k. Basically, it's an after-tax deduction and contribution to your account for growth. That's a diversification. If you can do both, right? Because that's going to help you because it taxes you now, but the Roth later doesn't tax you. Okay.
Yep.
For the 401k, it's a deferred tax. You're deferring your taxability till later. Roth, you're paying the tax now and it's no tax later. So if you're not in doing 401k yet, do the research, get into it, start investing. Remember, we're not telling you what to invest in, but go invest. It will change your life. It will change your thing. Walt is going to give us some stats around this and 401ks and some interesting things to make you think about. Wow, shoot, I need to invest. Right?
Yep. Yep.
Thanks for
Thank
that,
you,
Walt.
man. One thing before I go on, you did mention about
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
how employers contribute. So I Googled it while you were talking, and SHRM has an
Yeah.
article out there, and they said that 92% of U.S. employers offer match.
Wow,
92%.
92%.
Yes.
Holy cow. See, that's an incredible stat because that kind of it almost kind of shames the employers that don't provide a match, right?
Yeah.
Because now I'm gonna use like I need to keep that stat handy, like 92%. Shoot, wow,
Yeah.
that's good. See, so most of
92%.
y'all out there have match capability. You have
Hmm.
to take advantage.
Take
Take advantage of
take
401k.
advantage.
Leverage that
That's free
match.
money, man.
Yep.
If you give three
Yeah.
percent and your
Yeah.
company matches up to 3% or 6%, whatever it is, like that's 6% or up to 12% that you can have of 401k. Think about that. If it's
Yep.
10%,
Yep.
10% of your pay, if you make $100,000, in a year, that's 10k that you can have for that year put away.
Yep.
10k
Yep.
times 20.
And that's
Go ahead.
it. Yeah, it's not only that, it's exponentially growing, right? Because if the market's doing well, and
Hmm.
if you're at that, if you do the 10k, guess what? You're only paying taxes on 90k a year, right? If that's your only pre-tax, it could go even
Yep.
lower if you leverage the other ones, right?
Yep.
So now that's where the benefit is. That's what folks are not. That's what especially. Well, you know what? It's changing. I'm not even going to say it, but not enough folks leverage, right? That just take advantage
Hmm.
of these opportunities, these benefits out there. 92% of companies are giving match. No
Yep.
excuse.
Yes, sir. All right, man. So I'm going to give you some stats and trends that I got from 401kspecialistmag.com. And they were talking about six
Nice.
striking trends from a new Bank of America report. Now, this report, I think it was done in
Oh,
2023, 2022. So just keep that in mind.
oh,
But I
huh.
found it interesting,
This is
right?
fairly recent though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So among the 401k plans recorded and kept by Bank of America, 58 of all eligible employees participate. So think about that. A little bit more than half of,
58% of all.
yeah,
Yeah,
58%. And so that included
of all.
62% of men and 55% of women. So think about that. That
Gotcha.
is saying that more men participate in 401k than women. Now it's pretty close. It's like 7%, but
Yeah,
still,
slightly more. Yeah, it's pretty
slightly
fair.
more. Here's another interesting stat of the five that I have. Millennials are the least likely to participate in a 401k plan at 54%. And of the millennials that do contribute, 70% of them contribute less than $5,000 annually, right? So for some
Wow.
reason, millennials aren't maybe that's because they're diversifying their investments and not doing it for
Maybe.
401k and maybe
Yeah.
putting it somewhere else. I don't know, but it's an interesting stat, right? And I want to find out more about why that is. So, in
Oh, this shit's
addition,
broke as hell.
yeah, in addition, only 4% of millennials are contributing the allowable max, which was a little over 20,000 in 2022, compared to 12% of Gen X and 14% of boomers. So that speaks to some wage stuff and some, maybe some
Mm.
inflation stuff, whatever it may be. I don't know all the factors. It didn't say, but you know, I find it interesting that millennials seem to
Well, it's
be lower.
consistent, right? Because
Yeah,
70,
go ahead.
like we say, 70% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. So these
Yep,
numbers are consistent with that. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, you're not investing aggressively, right? You're not
yep,
even thinking about it. You're going to be under one of these people who are contributing less than 5,000 a year, and
yep,
$20 a check maybe, and you're not really making that impact that you should. You're not hitting your limits when you get in. So yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I
yeah.
get it.
So And then here's another stat comparing men and women. So overall, men have 55% more money in 401k balances than women. So think about that. So they're saying basically men have over $30,000 more than women in their 401k, and that could be another show that speaks to the wage gap and
Well, that
stuff like
speaks to
that.
the wage gap. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
we talked about it. That speaks to the wage gap. Yep. And that
Yep.
hopefully will change in the next 10 to 20 years.
But here's an interesting stat, right? That I think it may be changing with Gen Z. Amongst the younger retirement savers in the workforce, Gen Z women, which is up to the age of 26, have overtaken Gen Z men in total retirement savings with 3% higher account balances on average. So maybe that is like a shift that we're seeing, like where
Yep.
more women are getting paid more and earning more or equal or whatever. And so Gen Z is starting to shift that, right? So
I
all
mean,
these older
they
generations,
should be, yeah.
yeah, what's up? What would you say?
Well, I was going to say the older generation should now those older generations are actually pulling from the accounts now. So yeah, their
Hmm.
numbers are going to go down because
Yep.
they're living off of it now. That's good to see though that young women are the Gen Z are being more aggressive. And I think that's, I was going to say something earlier and I stopped myself like, oh, because black and brown, we don't know enough and we're not investing. It's not true anymore. Like right now,
Hmm.
I've seen more, black and brown folks, young folks being interested in investing
Hmm.
and savvy than I've ever seen before. Right. So that's why I stopped myself because I'm like, you know what? That's not true anymore. I think we, because of the information age, we've closed that gap, and
Hmm.
now we are investing. We are using the Robin Hoods of apps and Rocket Money and all these savvy Nerd Wallet and all these things, listening to podcasts and learning. Right. My
Yeah.
daughter's only 20. Right. Remember, she was on the show. She was talking about she wants to get a financial advisor and all that stuff. Like she's,
Yep.
so it's definitely a, I love to see that at the younger, because that's where you really make your impact with investment and financial wellness is starting it young, right? I
Yep.
didn't have that guidance young, man. I messed up my credit young and didn't know about, blew it
Same,
all,
man.
right? Like I didn't have that guidance and it took me a while to kind of teach myself, and then it
Yep.
takes a while to implement the discipline to actually do these things, because
Yep.
knowing is not doing, right? So
Yep.
we can do that,
Agreed.
know things all, oh yeah, I know a billion things, but if you're not doing it, then it's not change, right? Change isn't change until you change.
Yes, sir.
So but so I love to see that. I love to see that young folks are making a difference.
I love that too, man. So what that means to me is that the generations have been teaching their kids, like, hey, you need to be prepared because I wasn't prepared. You
Hopefully,
need to be
yeah.
prepared. And they're just kind of passing that
Work.
down. That's kind of what I think about. And then
Yeah.
my last stat
Or they're
here,
seeing their parents broke as hell. Sorry.
yeah, they're seeing the struggle.
They're seeing the
Yes.
struggle. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. For those of you listening, you may be thinking about investing, and you're seeing your parents struggle now, or they're going
Yep.
through, and you've seen like, hey, I don't want to go through that, so let me prepare myself better.
Yep.
You investing in 401k, investing in whatever, like that's going to help towards your retirement. Like you have to start now. Start now.
Yep.
So the last
Yep.
stat I have before we get into our safe talk and close the episode is employee participation rates more than doubled when plans have an auto enrollment feature. Bank of America found
Ah.
that 84% of employees participate in 401k when it has auto enrollment, while only
Hmm.
37% of employees participate in plans without auto enrollment. So, like when the
Hmm.
company offers, like, hey, we're going to auto
Yeah.
enroll you in it, the employees are just like, okay, cool.
Yep.
Just leave it like it is. Like, that's fine. I need to do it anyway. But
Yeah.
it seems like
Yeah.
when there's not that, where employees, that's a big drop, man. Think about that. 84% compared
Yeah,
to
it is.
37%.
Yeah, 50 something. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
That's
huge.
that's that's 47%,
It's
almost
huge.
50%, right? So
Yeah.
like that's a huge
Yeah.
drop, man. So like like that means employees aren't opting in, like, to 401k. I want to kind of understand the mental behind it of why that is. Like
I
why
could I
will
could tell you a
people?
few things.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, you could. I mean, you could, and think of. You're right. What would you think? Because shoot, ask yourself now: are you contributing to 401k plan at your job? Right.
Hmm.
And if
Hmm.
if the answer is no, why not? So those are some of the
Hmm.
reasons, right? Like I think for me, I've convinced myself at times, oh well, if they don't have a match, then I can invest
I
somewhere
said that.
else. You know what I
I've
mean?
said that. Yep. Hmm.
Right. And that's the wrong attitude because you should do something because if you set it
Yeah.
and forget it, right? And that's why the auto enrollment has such increased participation because you're like, all right, you know what? Yeah, I'll do 10, 2 because they start you low.
Two
And if you
percent.
do auto
Yeah.
enrollment, right? So yeah. So I've been a plan administrator for a long time on that side. So we often start the employees low, 1%, 2%, 3%, and then it's an auto escalation as well. It go increases over the years automatically so to get you
Hmm.
more aggressively in. But folks, that's what I meant to say. Just because it's auto enrollment, it's not mandate. So usually your company upon new hire, they'll tell you, "Hey, if you don't opt out, this is going to auto enroll you in. You got to opt out
Yep.
by this day. If not, your first paycheck is going to have 401k deduction." And it's not a bad thing, right? You should let it happen. And the numbers speak to it. 84% of employees participate in 401k when it has auto enrollment. So that the numbers speak to it. So, but again, it's not mandate. You can come out of it. It's not a bad thing. I think sometimes companies don't have to answer your question. Well, I think some of the
Hmm.
companies don't have a possible reason is not good awareness. Sometimes you get hired and you don't even know the company has you don't even know they have 401k, right? They
Yep.
don't if they
Yep.
don't do a good job of keeping it in your face, then and if they don't have auto enrollment, that that's why you don't
Ah.
even people don't even know. Then think about also the demographic now, or not demographic, but the the way work is changing with the gig economy and
Yes, bro.
there's a
Hmm.
lot more freelancing and things like that where maybe you're not actually offering 401k to these folks and they don't qualify for it. So that there's other issue there's things there. I mean, I guess that doesn't speak to why they wouldn't contribute, but yeah, I mean, ignorance. Honestly, that's it. And ignorant doesn't mean stupid. Ignorance is like you don't know that it's good for you. You don't know, that the company has it or whatever. So, or you just broke. Like when you live in paycheck to paycheck, man, it's tough
Yeah, bro.
to yeah, it's tough to actively go reduce your paycheck, your net income, like and
Yeah, bro.
pre-tax or not, you're not thinking about that, right? It's just yeah.
As we near the end of this episode, we'd like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to you for listening. Before we sign off, here are a couple quick things. Don't forget to follow It's About Payroll on LinkedIn and It's About Your Paycheck on Facebook and TikTok. We love engaging with our audience, and you'll be able to receive exclusive updates and behind the scenes content. Thank you for being a part of our payroll community, and thank you for being a part of this journey with us. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and most importantly, keep going.
So I think that's a great segue into our safe talk and
Oof, we got
um
two for you.
let's see you want to
Yeah,
yeah,
man. So,
yeah.
so
So
you want to do the first
this
one and I do the
segment,
second one?
right? Yeah, sure.
Okay, okay, go ahead.
We try to talk about something that is I don't know, it's just little that might be uncomfortable or create a safe place that we could talk about these things. No judgment, no nothing. And the first question is, do you believe that 401k plans are sufficient for retirement savings, or should there be some additional government mandated retirement benefits to ensure financial security for all employees? Well, there
Mm,
there there is. It's called Social Security. But Social Security is often rumored to be not enough for us. And there's a whole controversy around Social Security because I know when I retire, if I don't get my Social Security, it's going to be, I'm not even, I can't even say on air on this what I would, how mad I would be. You know what I mean? Because that's
yeah,
my
man.
money. They're taking our money and holding it for us, right? We could probably do a whole, I mean, I think we did talk about Social Security one of
We
the
did.
first 5 shows we did, yeah.
Yeah, we
And just
did.
to recap it, Social Security is like a retirement savings account for us, right? And yes, I know we did. So, and if you don't know, folks, if you go to the Social Security website You can create an account and log in and look at your account and look at your money and look at how much is there now. And
Yep.
it also tells you like what your projected payout is. And I think they do it a few ways. Like, okay, if you retired now, this is what you would get. You know, if you retire
Yep.
when your retirement age comes, this is what you're projected to get. Stuff like that.
Yep.
So don't feel
Yep.
like, oh, this Social Security, where's my money? You can go and look at it.
Yep.
Okay,
Go
people
to
don't know that.
Social
You can
Security.
go and look at
Yep.
what is it?
SSA.gov. SSA.gov.
Yep. So that is the mandated retirement benefit plan, but that shouldn't be all you get, right? You should
Mm-hmm.
also invest somehow, right? That keep diversifying. So that's one that's mandated, but it's also only if you're a W-2 employee. If you're a gig worker,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
right? Now when you file 1099 at the end of the year, they do you I believe you still contribute to it, but it may not be in a as much as you would, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
as 1099s, we get to write a lot off, and then you end up contributing a lot less than you would have because of your expenses. So
Yes.
you know factor that in, think that out. Beyond that, is it sufficient for retirement alone? No. You need to
No.
diversify. You need Social Security. You need 401k. You need something else. Save basic savings. If you're not a risk taker, if you are, invest in the market on your own for like through a Robinhood type of account.
So
What's
let me
up? What are you
ask
gonna
you.
say?
Let me ask you this before we go to the second question that we have, because we're two
Hmm.
doing a two for today. To end the second
The leap
month
year,
of, yes, so we're doing a two for today, right?
and it's a
So
leap year.
yes, a
Yeah,
leap
too.
year too. So yeah. So do you think, I'm going to change the question here a little bit. Do you think that the government is doing enough with Social Security, or should there be more to that, like that the government puts away? Like, should the government say, like,
That's a
"Hey,
good question.
we're gonna match what you put away"?
Yeah, there is an employer match to the Social Security and Medicare, but I don't know, and it's arguable, man. I don't know because we get into politics and what the government should and shouldn't be doing for us. The conversation around Social Security kind of is like, oh, it should be privatized. It should be kind of like a 401k thing where we can pick where that money is going and how it's being invested instead of the government really makes the choice, right? And they're
Hmm.
using it. Yeah, no, I don't know, man. It's a there's a good questions and good things to think about because there is no right or wrong answer. What do you think?
So I think that the government could definitely do more, especially since all the taxes and stuff that people pay. Like, it may be prudent. Like, so imagine if you had the option when you file your taxes, instead of getting your refund, you can put that towards your retirement, or you could something like adding some incentive. You can do what you want with it, right? If you get your money, get it
Yeah,
back or whatever.
right.
But instead of it going through that loophole, government sends me the money, and then I have to go and invest it in here, and there might be fees with it or whatever. I don't know how that would be, but maybe
Mhm.
something
Mhm.
different. Yes, I think the government could do a little bit more to take care of the American people. Yes. Now, do I have an
Got it.
answer for what that is? No, I don't. I don't. I don't know what
Yeah,
that is, but
it could look so many different ways. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
So,
Agreed.
second
All right,
question:
take us to the second one.
is it discriminatory for companies to exclude part-time and contract workers, because Brian was just speaking about contract workers, 1099, from
Mhm.
participating in their 401k plans? And should there be regulations to address this issue?
What
What
do
do you
you
think?
think?
Oh, okay. So I think that they should be able to. Do I think it's discriminatory? I I think I don't think it is. I think that's just the way the rules have been
No.
made.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
So,
I'll tell
but
you
I
why
think
too, but I want.
but I think that we could do more to offer them maybe a different kind of solution for those kinds of workers, right? So maybe we could have something that works a different way for them, but I don't think it's discriminatory. No. What about you?
Yeah, it's not discriminatory, and the reason why we exclude part-time and contract workers is because of the timing of them all. It's how can I say, the temporariness of it.
Yeah.
Meaning 401k is a long time solution, is a long term solution. Your part time employees and your contract workers are usually short lived. They're not there long, right?
Hmm.
Unless you're salaried part time and you have some type of thing like that. But and in which case you probably would be eligible. Some plans do make part timers eligible. Not all plans
Yep.
exclude part timers.
Hmm.
So but when the plans exclude them, it's because of that. It's because you're probably not going to be here long. Think like a part-time college student working at a retail outlet during the Christmas break and during the summers. Like they're not there consistently enough to contribute and to actually make impact. They should have a product on their own. To your point, I like that idea, like, oh, we should guide them into something else. But guiding, it should be something that they can maintain on their own outside of the job, like outside of their, because remember, these 401k deductions are happening through payroll, right? They're
Yeah.
deducting out of your paycheck, and
And yeah.
they're funding your, so if you're not getting a paycheck, then you're not funding it, you know what I mean? But I
Yeah.
like that idea. It's like maybe like, we can, companies can partner with a financial institution to say, hey, I'm going to push all my gig workers and my part-time
Yep.
workers to your product so
Yep.
that they can invest and save, and maybe
Yep.
give them some type of deal, like, oh
Yep.
wait, because they came through us and because they were our employee, hey, here's like a, that's a great idea, man. Here's like something to get you started, because oh,
Yep.
I worked with this company in the summer and they gave me $100 in my 401k account or my
Boom.
IRA
Something.
account to get me started.
Something.
Boom.
Something, bro.
And every summer I get $100 in that account, and
Something.
something like that, where it's not coming through the paycheck, it just funds, you fund it on behalf of. Great idea, bro. Look at that. Walt is just saved financial stuff. Like, that's a no, that's a really good idea. So anywho, so that's why it's not discriminatory, because they're not saying,
Hmm.
you're bad, you're whatever, you're different, you can't do this. They're just saying, look, you're not going to be here long enough to actually
Hmm.
make an impact. You should go and do it on your own, right? An IRA
Yep.
or something. So yeah, it's not discriminatory, and some companies do include all people, all
Yeah.
folk, all type of employees. It just depends. At the end of the day, for me, it's empower yourself, invest in yourself. And we got into a debate one time about, oh, it was education. I got worked up one day about education, and he's like, well, some people can't afford it, Brian. And I was like, no, you can't afford not to, right? You
Hmm.
can't afford not to, because we were talking about spending. I think it was on this show, right? We were talking
Yeah. I
about
think it was.
spending habits, and we were talking about how people, spend, and the different, and we should kind of do that periodically. Talk about what people are spending money on. Like, right, that would be
Hmm.
a good stat for this show, is to
Hmm.
constantly talk about what people are spending their money on. And
Yeah.
then, and that's where I came back at him, and I was like, well, no, because you're spent, what it was, like something like retail or clothing or some crap.
Entertainment.
I was like, all they entertainment, all you got to do is spend less on that and more on self improvement. And I'm not
Yeah.
saying it has to be college. I'm going on a tangent now because now I want to talk about it again. I'm not saying it's college, or it has to be these things, right? Because think about it. Look at LinkedIn, who it used to be lynda.com. And that's a great story, by the way, to go see how lynda.com started. Li- LinkedIn bought lynda.com, and it was and now LinkedIn Learning is it. But for 20-30 bucks a month, you have access to thousands of classes, thousands of courses that you can improve your skill set for. And I bet there's
Yep.
AI things right now,
Yep.
right? Machine learning and AI stuff that's there right now. So anywho, my point is, we can't afford not to keep self improving. We can't afford not to save and invest in our futures. So I'll
Yep.
leave you I'll the leave it at that, right? We can't afford not to do these things. We have to make that a priority.
Yep. No, I
And that's why
agree,
we do
man.
this show,
Yep.
right? It's so important to us that we're like, hey, it's about your paycheck. And, this is the first step in financial wellness, and your only stop for employee information. So keep
Yep.
coming back, keep listening, keep growing with us, keep learning with us. If there's some stuff that you want to share, let us know. Reach out. We're on LinkedIn. It's about your payroll. It's about payroll. Now I get the two shows confused. It's about payroll is the LinkedIn page. You can reach out to us. We're on Facebook for It's About Your Paycheck. Reach out. Reach out. What do you guys want to talk about? What do you want to learn about? And we'll
Yep.
bring it to the show.
Yep. Let's do it, man.
You got
And
any closing remarks, sir?
yeah, be sure to sign up for your Social Security information. Go to
Yes.
ssa.gov. Make sure that you do that.
Yep.
It's going to show you different things. They're being transparent. Like I just went on mine now, and it says what my
Mm-hmm.
full monthly benefit will be at the retirement age of 67. But it also pushes it to my age 70,
Mm-mm.
and it says something about delayed there. So that's interesting. So you might want to educate yourself on Social Security. So
Yes.
who knows what that
Mm,
means? So
yeah.
just
See.
a fun fact. Sorry.
Yeah, and when look, there's a minimum age too, right? That you
Yeah.
can start taking it out, but you like right, like when my mom retired, she was like, "Oh, if I wait 3 more years, I can get $200 or $100 more," and I was like, "Nah, the hell with that. Retire now, be
Yeah.
done." She was a nurse 47 years. Like, be done. You're done.
Yes.
So there's a trade off. Yeah, but again, the point is, you can go and see your account, folks. Like, I don't think
Hmm.
I don't think enough people know that.
Nope.
And
A lot of
thank you
people
for
don't know
checking that
that.
out.
Yes, sir. All
Yeah,
right, folks.
yeah.
Be sure to
All
tune
right,
in
cool.
next week.
Till the
We're
next
gonna
time.
we're gonna drop in a true payroll crime story. Hospital. There was a cyber attack on some hospitals, so make sure you tune in next week. We're gonna talk about that.
Absolutely, good one. Looking forward to that. Thank you,
All
folks.
right,
We
man.
love you. Peace.